Hi, I'm Gal Lovette. Thank you for letting me tell you my story about being a princess for a week. My story starts in Fort Knox, Kentucky. A young Cambodian officer, my father, met a beautiful young American teen, my mother. The two of them met at a dance club, which is why I love to dance, I'm sure, and they had a romance. The romance was very short and ended quickly. The Khmer Rouge at this time had just taken over the capital city of Phnom Penh, and the country is about to go into a horrible genocide. So while my father was using his diplomatic allies to get family out of the country, my mother was just a pregnant teen, and she was sent away, and they would be separated and never ever reunite. It would be many, many years later that I would find my Cambodian family, and it would be a really interesting royal treat at that. Being a brown girl in Kentucky was a unique experience. Everybody wanted to know where I was from. They were just generally curious, but it always ended in the same conversation. Where are you from? I'm from here. I'm from Kentucky. No, where are your parents from? Well, my father's from Cambodia. My mom's American. Well, where are they? Where's your parents? Where's your daddy? And I would say, I don't know. I didn't get a chance to know my dad. So I got really tired of telling this story to everybody every time we met. It would always end the same. They would find out I didn't know who my dad was and hadn't a chance to meet him. So I made up a better story about being a princess. And I said that one day my family would come for me. And a few of my close friends even wrote in my yearbook, my Cambodian queen, my Cambodian princess. I had told this story a few times. But I never thought that I would have a chance to actually go to Cambodia. My family would find me and I would get to live like a princess for a week. So when I say live like a princess for a week, we had a massage therapist come to the room. We had drivers take us everywhere, manicures. I had a seamstress come and they fitted me and my cousins for all of our matching outfits. So we'd match the princess in the royal court. It was just such an amazing experience. So my first trip to the fatherland was for many reasons. It was my grandmother's 90th birthday. It'd be the first time I would be seeing my father's home country and meeting several family members, including two sisters, uncles, my grandmother, the princess, the prince. When I arrived, everything was looked after. I mean, I'm from Kentucky. I grew up with my American family and I was not ready for the culture shock. I wasn't ready for what I was going to experience. I mean, who's ever ready to meet a princess? A real princess? So the whole trip started great. I was driven to the compound, the family compound. And when I arrived to my room, it was full of exotic fruit. And the princess came to my room and it gave me a big welcome and told me that I would meet my sisters the next day. The next morning, we had breakfast in this beautiful tropical garden, and we had green bananas with croissants and soft cheese and black coffee. And she brought pictures. She brought a picture of my grandfather, and she said that I resembled him, and I did. It was really amazing to resemble somebody. Growing up with my American family, I stuck out like a burnt French fry, and now all of a sudden I look like people. It was really warming to my heart. I loved that. So I have to tell you, Princess arranged this wonderful picnic. We get on a riverboat. We're going down the Mekong River. I've got my sisters with me. It's a wonderful, beautiful morning. I can't believe this is happening. And we pull into this little town where the racing boat is. And as we're pulling into port, there's hundreds of villagers all cheering, and there's monks arriving, and they're throwing rose petals as we disembark at us, and they're chanting. And we go and sit on a large carpet, and the older women help me to pose my legs like this, and fix my scarf as we were all blessed. And then we blessed the boat, and then they heaved a hole and launched the boat into the water, and they raced it up and down the river. And the princess had her parasol and she's cheering them on. It was such a lovely experience, the whole thing. The water festival itself is 840 years old. This is a very old tradition. The day of the festival, we all put on our outfits that Auntie had made for us. The princess had us all wear matching outfits, and we went to her room, and then she added to our outfits the jewelry, earrings, rings, bracelets that were all family jewelry, shoes, purses, the whole thing. And then we all arrived in 4 cars, all arrived to the festival. Once we got to the festival, we all entered via red carpet. And there were 9 of us all dressed in these beautiful red silk skirts and sashes with white lace tops. And then we sat in this beautiful royal court. It was covered, the columns, in silk ribbons, and the chairs were covered in silk. And there were red carpets everywhere. And when the King Norodom arrived, he came on the red carpet, and we lined up, and we all bowed. And he came and made eye contact and bowed to each and every person down the sides of the red carpet, and then went and sat on his throne where, he was the king of the festival. And then the other princesses and princesses sit behind him. So King Norodom is in the center. Princess Norodom, my auntie, and her husband, Prince Norodom, are sitting here. And then I'm sitting right behind them going, this is so amazing. And I'm cheering on our boat. And then after the races, they have like a big parade of boats that had lit off fireworks. It's a big, big celebration. That was a really fantastical experience. But we also had some real beautiful, heartfelt experiences too. We celebrated my grandmother's 90th birthday, and she was losing her vision, so she had to see my face with her hands and greet me this way. And it was just wonderful to feel her hands of my grandmother touching me and meeting me for the first time. I cried.
We went to see where our fathers are buried. Mm-hmm. And my cousins had never been to Cambodia, and I hadn't been to Cambodia, so none of us had been to this burial site where grandfather and our fathers were. So it's a temple kind of shaped a little bit like a pyramid. Mm-hmm. So you can go inside of it, and inside there's room to kneel, maybe not really stand, but kneel and pray. And there are all the ashes of our ancestors and their portraits. Mm-hmm. And we brought jasmine bracelets and laid them all on there, incense, and then we just kind of prayed. And I don't even understand the presence that happened, but the 5 of us sobbed. Mm-hmm. We just sobbed uncontrollably. I don't know. It was really interesting for this family and these people that I hadn't met, that I still sobbed not getting a chance to meet them, I guess. Yeah. I was really sad to not get to ever meet my father, but also kind of grateful to have all of these experiences that I kind of felt like they were there with us, like we were all hugging or holding each other. And maybe that's the reason why us cousins couldn't stop crying. We were all just never really had a chance to hold space for that kind of thing. Yeah. It was really a sweet thing that Auntie did for us.
It's really nice to feel a part of that too. I have my American side and I love my American culture, but to understand and really get to connect to this ancient culture that I'm related to as well was tremendous. And I got to have all these lovely experiences and this royal treatment and felt like a princess for a week. And then took a plane from Siem Reap to Phnom Penh, to China, to LA, to Denver, to Miami, back to Key West. And I was back to driving myself home, cooking my own dinner, and then doing my own dishes. It was really great to live the royal life for a week. And coming home, I did feel like I understood myself better. I felt more whole and complete, knowing both sides of my family. And I definitely would want to go back for sure.